director and co-founder of Island Officials. Started up about 2.5, 3 years ago. Island Officials is the first and only game design company out in South Jersey. We make DS and iPhone, basically portable flash and casual pickup and friendly games. Well, it all started probably about 20 years ago. I knew I was going to do something in the gaming world, just didn't really know exactly how I was going to do it. I originally went to school for graphic design because I wanted to be in the industry somehow. If I had to do like print, or if I had to do like video game manuals, or doing box arts, or something to that extent, that was really my first initial way, because I really wasn't much of a programmer or an animator or anything like that, and I really didn't want to start from the very tier bottom and kind of do the whole be a tester and test games for X amount of years and play the same level 40 times for 6 months and then get another game and do the same thing. So I kind of wanted to try to take it from a different perspective. So I worked my way into the industry as much as I could. I worked a lot of retail, doing like GameStop and Game Crazy, Funko Land. I managed a Game Crazy for about 2 years. Kind of made my way through different aspects of places in the industry people didn't really expect to be considered industry. So going to like different trade shows and all that, I was able to meet some people and just kind of understand how it all works better. I worked a lot going to different areas of the U.S. really to try to get my resume out there and try to have people know who I was. And this industry, more than anything, it's all about who you know, because it's such an incestuous industry. Everybody knows everybody, and a guy that you don't like one week is the guy who you're working for the next week. So it's all about who you know and how you get your name in there. I was working at a store in West Deptford, and a buddy of mine who I'd known for a long time, we had talked about doing stuff with games for forever. We worked for, in different game stores together. We worked our way through all the different chains, and we'd see all these games that come out, and we're like, oh, I know I can make something better than this. I know I can do it better. And for a long time, a lot of it was just, there was a lot of talk, and we had ideas and concepts, but we never really had anything to go with. So one day we sat down and we said, all right, dude, let's do this. Let's actually stop talking and actually move forward and do what we want to do. So we sat down and we were able to put together some concepts and ideas, and at the time I was actually working for a game publisher. We were able to put together a concept for a game that was called Snood, which the publisher I was with had that license. So we tried to put a newer version of Snood out there, and I thought I had the doc over here somewhere. There. But we were able to put together like a quick prototype of a Snood game and throw it around when that was almost 3 years ago. And here we are today. Today is the launch of Tangrams right here.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if we can get that on the camera.
Yeah, no, that's cool, but
here,
yeah, I have the box, and here's the first cart. This has been about a 2.5, 3 year process to get just this little 8 meg cart out and actually be able to put it in stores. But hey, it's on Amazon, it's on Walmart.com, and we're really, really excited. And we have a lot of cool stuff in development now, and we're moving forward and really learned a lot. Well, the first thing was, the biggest one was trying to find a place to work. And that was an adventure of its own. We were able to work at one of the programmer's house, and that was good, but he wasn't very clean, so there was that aspect to it too. So everyone had to walk into dirty houses, and for some reason, he would always cook food in the summertime, and it would be extra hot in there when we come in. So not only would we be trying to work on games and make stuff, we'd also be sweating our asses off at the same time. So we were able to work out of there for a little bit, but we had this whole room that was kind of taking, it got to the point where once we kind of realized it after 2 or 3 months of we were going to do Island Officials and we were really going to do this whole thing, everybody on the team kind of was just like, anywhere and any place and any type of computer equipment or electronic equipment that someone doesn't want, I will happily take. And I was able to get a huge amount of stuff, and I was getting lucky because the publisher I was working with was actually getting rid of a lot of things, and we were able to confiscate a lot of their stuff and take it for our own. So, but one of the biggest hurdles, I would say, was trying to work with something that was similar to what Nintendo was actually using, but at the same time, unless you it's hard to get licensed by Nintendo unless you have an actual building that you work out of. And in order to do that, you need to have money, and that was one thing that we really didn't have a lot of at the time, and unfortunately still really don't have a lot right now too. Part of it was trying to get everything over, make it all fit, make it all work, rewriting a lot of the engine, a lot of the code, and basically we wrote our own engine. And for people that really don't understand engines in video games, it's the same as a car. You can't build a car without an engine, and it's the same with games. In order to have a game built, you have to have some sort of core engine that's around it, and then you can build the entire game around that engine. So our engine was kind of compatible with Nintendo's stuff, but it really wasn't, so we had to really not only rebuild Tangrams, but also rebuild the engine to fit to Nintendo's formula and how they write all their stuff. So basically the approval process is a lot of testing, and it basically starts off with you go through what's called lot check, and that's Nintendo's way of being able to check stuff. But before that, you go through what's called like a testing. You go through like a testing group, and the testing group goes in, they test all your stuff. Once they find things that are approved and are disapproved by Nintendo, they can come back and they give you a list of what's right, what's wrong. Then basically you have to go back and fix all the bugs so that when it goes into Nintendo, actually physically through Nintendo, that it can pass through the first or maybe fail once for stuff that even the testing company doesn't know Nintendo looks for. And then once it gets approved, then you're out, you get your packaging approved and your labels and all that approved, and then it gets printed, and then it ends up like this. So